They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them, lest we forget.
lest we forget. It's a day of reflection and remembrance for all who served the country, and we thank Jaden Mifsud and the New South Wales Fire Brigade Band and Camps the RSL for helping us commemorate Anzac Day with a special solemn service ahead of round 8 of the New South Wales National Premier League. Yes, hello and welcome to Belmore Sports Ground for a grand final replay between last year's pace setters Sydney Olympic and the APIA Leichhardt Tigers. Football is a part of the Anzac Day story, and we're delighted to have your company this afternoon across the Football New South Wales channels for one of the competition's big traditional rivalries. It's part of a big doubleheader here at Belmore, and we've got more action for you later tonight across the Women's National Premier League. But for now, we'll take a look at the lineups. And for the host, Sydney Olympic, Abbassad makes 3 changes to the team that drew here 2-2 with Manly last week, with returning from injury a couple of grand final superstars last year in Alejandro Sanchez and Radovan Pavicevic, along with Zach McKenzie, and they come in for Nick Satalios, Darcy Burgess and Michael Gay-Tatsis. The full lineup is in goals, Paul Henderson, a back 4 of Tom Whiteside, Mitchell Stamatellis, Zach McKenzie and Will Angel, a midfield 3 of Jinya Ahn, Jason Madonis and Harry Gay-Tatsis, and a front 3 of Jack Stewart, Alex Sanchez and Rado Pavicevic. As for the visitors, APIA Leichhardt Tigers, they make one change to the side that drew 1-1 with Blacktown. In goals is Ivan Nachevsky, a back 4 of Paul Galimi, Thuemba Mwatamalo, Josh Simmons and Michael Kuda. The holding midfielders are Adrian Uccino and Sam McElhatton, and it's a front 4 of Corey Bixo, Andre de Jong, who comes into the starting 11, Sean Simmons and Chris Payne. Yes, it's a blockbuster Anzac Day. What a special day it is. We're delighted to have NPL New South Wales football for you. Craig Fisher, our official, about to get proceedings underway, and it is APIA Leichhardt Tigers who kick us off, and they'll be running from right to left. The host Sydney Olympic in the all blue. The champions needing to make a statement after an indifferent start to the season, and here they are through Jack Stewart down the right hand side. Clearance comes though from Kuda, who had the help there of Josh Simmons. So Olympic on the front foot early. Perhaps a surprise to see Alex Sanchez in the starting 11 today. Missed out last week in that 2-2 draw against Manly. And Olympic have a chance here with a set piece early on. Harry Gay-Tatsis winning that free kick. So it's Jinya Ahn who comes across to take this early set piece. Olympic have made a good start. We're only a minute into this one. In comes the ball from Ahn. Looking for the pieces inside the box. Olympic, there was Pavicevic. In the end, the block comes from APIA. And now they can look to clear long. Looking for Payne. Positive start from Abbassad's men. Coming to this one in 8th spot. Needing some points on 8 points at the moment. APIA in 2nd spot on 14 points. So certainly last year's pace setters, Olympic especially, needing some points today. APIA 2, their story is that they've had 2 draws on the spin. Last week it was against Blacktown at home on Good Friday, a 1-1 draw there. The week before, a 0-0 draw against Hakoah. And they've started both those weeks a little bit slow. According to their coach, John Kalaja, he wants to see a quicker start today. Last week, in fact, Blacktown really pushed them back. And it wasn't until Blacktown scored through James Demetriou that APIA really got going late in that game. They got their equaliser through Corey Bixo. But certainly John Kalaja looking for a better start this week. APIA now in possession down the right-hand side. Paul Galimi. Now it's Olympic who pick it up in the midfield. Jason Madonis, the skipper, played his 100th game for the club last week in that 2-2 draw against Manly. He's playing in the number 8 role. He's got the number 8 jersey. And he's playing alongside Junior Rana, a little bit deeper in the midfield today. So a bit of a tactical adjustment from Abbassad. Unfortunately for him, losing Haji Gligor a fortnight ago. Unfortunate news for Haji Gligor is that he has ruptured his ACL for the second year in a row. Unfortunate news for him. Did that against Rockdale. Round 6, lost 2-1 away. As APIA come forward, Sean Simmons can't keep that one in. But yeah, it really is the story for Sydney Olympic at the start of this season. Injury crisis for them, so many players out injured, so the news not great for Haji Gligor. Chatting to him ahead of the game, he'll go into the operating theatre, but it looks like another season for him on the sideline. Happened to him almost at the same stage last year. In fact, it was round 5 here where he tore his right ACL. This year it's the left. Very unfortunate. It's the same story for APIA Leichhardt central midfielder as well, David DePuzzo, who's also out with a ACL injury. Injured that in round 5 against Rockdale City. So a couple of season-ending injuries. Very unfortunate for those players. Before Sydney Olympic, they've probably been forced in a way to rush Alex Sanchez back into the starting 11 along with Zach McKenzie. He's been out for 4 weeks. Here he is getting a header. One of the 3 changes. Moved across from APIA midway point of last season, and he's been out for the past month. Hasn't been training much, Zach McKenzie, but he rushes back into the centre of defence here for this important clash, and that's forced a bit of a tactical adjustment. You've just seen Tom Whiteside on the right side of defence for Olympic. So Zach McKenzie in the centre of defence alongside Mitch Stamatellis. And now they've got a bit of work to do. Flag's gone up though against Andre de Jong, one of the off-season signings for APIA Leichhardt Tigers. He gets his first start today in for Franco Parisi, who's on the bench today. So early challenge there on Alex Sanchez. Is that going to be a yellow card? It is. Sam McElhatton, the first player booked in this one. He goes into the book 6 minutes in. So he'll be walking the tightrope. So a chance here for Madonis to get another ball into the box. Waiting for Zach McKenzie to come forward. Certainly got a couple of tall options in Stamatellis. McKenzie's gone forward for this one. In it goes to Stewart though. APIA look to counter-attack here. Battle in the midfield. Gatatsis battling away with McElhatton. Looking for Gatatsis there, away by Moatamalo. Now Whiteside gets it out to Zach McKenzie. He's looking to get another player who's come back into the starting 11 today, and Radovan Pavicevic, one of the heroes in the grand final, along with Alex Sanchez. Pavicevic got the first in that 3-1 win back in September. As de Jong turns in the midfield for APIA. Olympic pick up the ball though. Now Stamatellis can come forward. Jack Stewart taking on Michael Cooter. Looking for the run of Sanchez there. Not happy with that flag going up. Thought he timed the run well. But the assistant referees for this one, Ray Osborne right on the spot, Jun Park on the other side as well. And our fourth official for this one is Jake Rose, supporting Craig Fisher in the middle. So a big one, this one, a big blockbuster game. Olympics record here. This is their 5th home game. It's been a very indifferent start. They were undefeated at home last season. Yet to win in 4 games here. That 2 draws and 2 losses. Seen those losses against the Sutherland Sharks back in round 1. And then against the Wollongong Wolves in round 5. And certainly for Abbotsard, part of the issue has been defensively. Whereas last year, they only conceded 19 goals across the entire season. They only conceded 9 goals here at Belmore across the season. This year they've already conceded 12. 8 of those have come here at Belmore. So you can see what the issue's been for them. 2-2 draw last week. Conceded 2 against the Wolves here. Drew 3-3 against Blacktown earlier in the season here as well. And a 1-0 loss at the start of the season against the Sutherland Sharks. So they'll be certainly looking to get the points here at Belmore. As I mentioned, got a bit of defending to do now as Henderson comes out. Authoritative piece of work from the keeper. He's been playing with a bit of an injury himself to add to the issues for Abbotsard. Can't take the goal kicks, but Olympic come forward now down the left-hand side. Good counter-attack from them. We know in Olympic flow that counter-attack works really well. They got forward down that left-hand side. It was Will Angel, part of that tactical adjustment from Abbotsard. Will Angel's gone from right back to left back, partly to look after the speedy Corey Bixo. And also forced in a way by the injury to Nick Satalios last week. Here is the resulting corner for Olympic. In it goes. Now it falls on the edge of the box to Whiteside. Junior Arn looks to lift it in. Can't get it past the first APIA defender though. And now APIA can look to counter-attack through that man Bixo. Wanted to play it into Payne, who had to hold his run. Timing not quite on there on the counter. Both teams like to spring forward very efficiently in transition. And that's certainly something to look out for today. You can see the tentativeness there of Henderson to clear with his feet. Hasn't been taking the goal kicks for the past couple of weeks. That's certainly something that John Kalaja and his side might look to target. Applying a bit of pressure on the veteran Olympic custodian. So Olympic come forward now down the right-hand side through Harry Gatatsis. Looking inside for Sanchez. Maitamalo's first to it though. Falls now to Sanchez. In it goes to Madonis. Working back though. Sean Simmons, the skipper against the skipper. Excellent early action from both men with the armbands. As Junior looks to thread it in for Sanchez. First touch into the box. Cross the keeper. Can't get that one on target. But he's looking lively early on. Alex Sanchez, 22 goals for the season last year. Certainly would have given APIA a few nightmares after that grand final. Hasn't been the best of starts for him. He's had a lot of injuries early in the season. But he's got 3 goals. And he's a big in today for Abbotsard and the champions. And that battle against Moatamalo and Josh Simmons, certainly one to watch. It's been a beautiful day here in Sydney, this Anzac Day. Terrific to see NPL New South Wales football as part of the Anzac story. Certainly football does have a big role and a big story to tell around the Anzac Day. Caught up with one anecdote ahead of this game from historian Ian Sison, who writes for a couple of blogs, including one called Neos Osmos. And Ian Sison spoke about chronicled the story on these blogs around the First World War, and one of the stories around Football New South Wales, and a team out of the Granville district called the Granville Magpies. 17 of their 22 players from their 1914 squad went over to fight with the Allies in the World War I. And it's a story that really rings across football. There are so many stories to tell. I don't think football, we've done the greatest jobs of telling these stories, so it's great to see over recent times some of these stories start to emerge. Certainly one of those soldiers that did play for the Granville Magpies, John Willie Cottam. As APIA come forward down that right hand side, Olympic are able to clear. But a famous name, John Cottam. I'll come back to that as Olympic venture forward on the counter attack. APIA are able to clear. But John Cottam, famous knockout competition for the Granville district named after him. And that competition's still going today. It's the oldest knockout competition in the country as Olympic come forward down their right hand side. John Cottam went over to the war, didn't make it back. And it's just one of many great stories that we do need to tell. Another teammate of his. So APIA come forward through Chris Payne, can't get that one on target. But Eric Mobbs was a teammate of his at the Granville Magpies, also went as part of that squad. And there's a reserve named after him in Castle Hill. So many great stories that are nice and local. We really need to flush these out and tell these stories close to home. So go find a story, talk about it, tell it. The history of football around the Anzac Day, very important. As APIA's, looks like Adrian Uccino, the central midfielder, has gone down here. Craig Fisher's gone across to get a bit of treatment. It's great to see, as part of this inaugural Anzac Day, Sydney Olympic are hosting a double header here. The women will be in action a little bit later. 6:45 kickoff. Sydney Olympics women in the New South Wales Women's Premier League. They're in third spot. They're playing against Manly United, who are in ninth spot. Great start to the season for Sydney Olympic. And they'll be in action. You can join us, stay in the same place. Nicola Posda will be bringing you all that action on the live stream from 6:45. So a great initiative by Sydney Olympic to feature NPL New South Wales football on Anzac Day. And it really does give us the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the history of the game. And these two clubs certainly bring a lot of history to not only the New South Wales scene, but the national scene. Two former NSL clubs with proud history and tradition. And they're two of the big guns in the competition, and certainly keen to have a say this season as Uccino just comes off the field. Looks like he's holding that nose, perhaps a little bit of blood, maybe a stray elbow. In fact, that's what he's gesturing to the fourth official, Jake Rose, that he copped a little bit of a stray elbow. So certainly watch that battle in the midfield as APIA come forward here. Through Josh Simmons. Now Andre de Jong. Mentioned that move across, the New Zealand international. He's coming to the side after a few weeks. Had 3 cameos off the bench. Gets a start today. Franco Parisi reverting to the bench. Bit of a team rule for John Collage's side. If you do miss a training session, You start the next week on the bench, and Franco Parisi did have to go to Melbourne for work this week, so he starts from the bench today. An opportunity then for Andre de Jong, who has already scored one for APIA. He's had a couple of great seasons at Harkoa. Started to attract the attention of the New Zealand national team setup, so he got his debut last season for New Zealand. Certainly got a trial with the Wellington Phoenix in the off-season, where Max Burgess ended up. As Olympic come forward here through Jack Stewart, and he looks to get the cross in. Excellent defending though at the near post. Josh Simmons it was, with the outstretched left foot to cut out that cross. Sanchez was in there, so was Pavicevic. And Jack Stewart's had a lively start to the game. Player who moved across from Blacktown City in the off-season, where he scored 7 goals for their under-20s. He's got himself 2 already for Abbotsard's side. And the tall Timbers come forward here. Junior Arns, the set-piece taker. Olympic looking to threaten here. Straight at Nachevsky, though. He's been in great form for APIA. Featured in last week's Ultra Football Team of the Week, did Ivan Nachevsky. Couldn't find anyone on that outlet ball. Both these keepers, in fact, tend to produce their best in this fixture. APIA having the edge during the regular season last year. They won the round 2 clash at Lambert Park by 2-0. And then here in round 13, the corresponding match at Belmore, Olympic got off to a flyer through Junior Arn. APIA had a player sent off in Brandon Lundy, and it was a late equaliser to Nathan Milgate, which meant for a 1-1 score here. But Olympic got the edge in the big one, the decider, the grand final in September. Speaking to Johnny Kaleja, talking about that revenge factor as the ball comes in, looking for Galimi. Now on the edge of the box is Sean Simmons, looking to combine here with de Jong. Now the ball out to the left-hand side. In it goes. Kuda looking to find his target. Now it's McElhatton! Straight at the keeper in the end. Henderson getting down sharply to that one. Ball was swerving, not a bad effort at all there from McElhatton. Set piece here for APIA. Watamalo goes long looking for Simmons. Henderson comes. You can see what they're trying to do. Test Henderson in the air. Certainly something tactically that Kaleja identified. That long ball looking for Simmons. Testing the spring early of Henderson, and he came up strong there, spilt it initially. Keep an eye on that as Uchino tries to thread there for de Jong. Here's Pavicevic. Now the ball switched out via Junior Arn. As Galimi picks up the loose ball, and now Will Angel can drive forward at Moatamalo, who stands up and does the job. But again, it's another set piece. They're starting to mount for the host, Sydney Olympic. This time Adonis has gone across to take this one. Whiteside's gone forward for this. Pavicevic is in there as well. Gaitatzis hangs on the edge of the box. Near post is McKenzie. That's where it goes. In fact, Stewart trying to get the flick on. In the end, it is a goal kick to the APIA Leichhardt Tigers. Certainly for APIA, Defensively, it's been a pretty solid start for them. That's something that John Kalaja identified during the off-season. They weren't able to keep a clean sheet from round 6 onwards. As the ball comes in from, looking for Payne there. Now on the edge of the box, climbing is De Jong. It's a free kick against De Jong though. The arms went up there. So Jinya An, one of the midfielders, has gone down. Looks like it might be Madonis. Back on his feet now, the Olympic skipper, who has a bit more of a defensive responsibility in this one. As An goes forward, Madonis just hangs. And Arnie's the target along with Sanchez. Now he's battling away. The speed of Sanchez getting him to the ball ahead of Simmons. And winning a throw in for Olympic. Chance for Tom Whiteside to come forward with the long throw. Dropping short, Gaitatsis. Whiteside waiting. In the end, he goes inside. Now it's Sanchez. Chance here, Pavicevic. Couldn't quite get on the end of that. In the end, Nachevsky gathers comfortably. But it went over a couple of contests there. In the end, Pavicevic couldn't quite get his foot on the end of it. And the opportunity goes begging for Olympic. A half chance. But they're on the front foot again through Sanchez. Strong tackle that time. Moatamalo. Again, it's Olympic pinching the ball high. Now Pavicevic. Goes inside to Madonis. Gaitatsis happy to set up through Junior An now. Gaitatsis makes the run into the right-hand channel. Simmons comes out to deny him space. And now the cross comes inside. What an opportunity. Pavicevic it was on the end of that cross from Jack Stewart. Olympic looking lively, particularly down the right-hand side. Couple of early good balls in. Maybe it's this big fixture which will shake Abbotsard's men into life. Last week they showed a lot of spirit and character to come back twice against Manly. They've made a decent start here. 25 minutes into this one. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Be sure to interact on the comments. Share the stream around. If you are on Twitter, be sure to use the hashtag NPL NSW. As the ball falls in midfield for Madonis. Now Gaitatsis. Olympic wanting to play on quick. Now they can go out to the left-hand side. Certainly for APIA, that defensive solidity. 6 goals conceded so far. Equal best in the competition. They're getting a test early on. Olympic looking lively. Again, it's into the feet of Sanchez. Now it's Stewart trying to combine with Pavicevic. Strong defending though from Paul Galimi. He's playing it right back again today. Had a couple of games, man of the match performances in centre of defence. Cross rounds 5 and 6 as Payne comes forward for APIA. Now he gets it out to Sean Simmons. Faced by Whiteside. Goes inside to De Jong. Here's Uccino. Waiting for the support from Galimi. And now it's out with Bixo. Patient build up this one from APIA. Now Galimi. Happy to keep it down that right hand side. Bixo looks inside, over the head of Sean Simmons though. Looking for the free kick there. Play on's the call though, it's a throw in to Sydney Olympic. Two teams who have so much respect for each other. Speaking to John Kalaja, certainly wants the 3 points out of this one to keep up with the likes of Wollongong as they come forward down the right-hand side. Chance here! What a chance it was too. Payne went across the goal, couldn't get it on target though. An excellent delivery down that right-hand side. Galimi it was. And Payne He's got 7 so far for the season. Couldn't get that one on target. Battle in midfield here as the ball goes through to Sanchez. In behind here. 1-on-1 now. Sanchez! And he deflects it past the post. It is a corner. The intervention coming from APIA. Sanchez looks very lively early in the going here. And a terrific opportunity denied by excellent work from APIA. Nachevsky coming out, narrowing the angle. And it's another set piece here. But that threat that John Kalaja talked about, Sanchez looks in great form. As the ball goes to the back post. Here it is, Gaitatsis. Gets a second opportunity to get it inside. De Jong with the clearance. Very strong in the air, Andre De Jong. Does a power of defensive work. As Stamatelis looks to play it down. Virginia Arn on his non-fancied right foot, but it's a good cross. The header away by Moatamalo. Olympic build now. Through Whiteside. Again, it's inside. Chance here for Sanchez. Lays it off for Stewart. On the left foot for him. APIA clear through Kuda. Been a very good start from Abassad's men. Nothing to show for it though. 29 minutes in. 0-0 it remains. Couple of great chances at both ends from two of the sharpshooters in the competition. APIA looking to build again. As Mackelhatson picks up the loose ball. Now he looks to combine with Kuda. Kuda's in behind. Now he looks to get it across. Chance here for Bixo. He's already got 2 for the season. Corey Bixo scored 1 in the first round from that sort of range. A screamer to open the season for APIA against Marconi. And he got one last week as well against Blacktown City. So a player in red-hot form. Couple of great strikes for him to start the season. As the ball goes over Mackelhatton. Once again, Sanchez very busy. Playing the role of target, also looking to get him behind. Hasn't been training much, according to his coach, Abassad. Initially expected to miss a couple of games, but he's back. Probably 1 game ahead of schedule. And he's looked very sharp early on here, but not been able to find the back of the net yet. 0-0 it remains. Half an hour past here. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. As APIA come forward, they're happy to... They thought was a corner. Galimi pleading with the assistant on the far side. In fact, it looked like he let that one run, believing it was a corner. But the officials have pointed to a goal kick. Henderson, wonder if he'll take this one, looking for a short option. APIA, in the end they get away with it through Madonis. Now he can go down the right-hand side, looking for Whiteside. Trying to get forward and apply the pressure on Kuda. Like Andre De Jong, a player who moved over from Hakoah. He's had a solid start to the season, has Michael Kuda. Been a permanent fixture at left back. Sanchez is fouled now on the edge of the box. So a good opportunity this for Olympic. We've seen them score here from a set piece earlier in the season. Nikola Koleski against Blacktown City. This one's on the opposite side, and it's Junior Arn who's come across to take this one. Nachevsky just organising his 2-man wall here. Uchino and Sean Simmons. Olympic have got bodies forward, including Zach McKenzie and Pavicevic. Oh, Junior Arn! What a goal that is! Junior Arn! Direct from the free kick. Doesn't he love to play against the APIA Leichhardt Tigers? Scored against them here in the corresponding match last season. It was his only goal of the season last year. And here he is, Junior Arn, getting his first of the season against the APIA Leichhardt Tigers with an outstanding free kick. Snuck it past Nachevsky. Top bins, if you don't mind. What a strike, Junior Ahn. Olympic have had a great start to this match, and they take the lead after 33 minutes. The foul won by Alex Sanchez, and the free kick taken by Junior Ahn. Olympic on 8 points heading into this one. And they know the importance of this game. Such a tight competition. Don't want those teams getting ahead of them. We've got Wollongong Wolves on 17 points, APIA on 14. The Marconi Stallions have gone on a three-game winning run. They're on 12 points. Then there's a bevy of teams on 11 and 10. So for Olympic, a really critical game for them. They've made just a perfect start, but they've got some defending to do. APIA, can they hit back like they did last week? Cut out at the near post. Uchino plays retrieve. As Mackle Hatton looks for the switch. Strong work defensively though from Whiteside. Abbassad calling his troops out. Doesn't want them to drop too deep and give APIA the space. Madonis. He's got through a power of work early on in the midfield. Here he is trying to combine with the goal scorer, Ahn. In fact, it goes through to Gaetatsis. He's made a strong start in this one. Now he dinks it over the top for Sanchez. Looks inside. Moatamalo, though, strong defending from him. What a contest this is. Olympic on the front foot. Challenging APIA. Talk about their defensive work so far this season. Only 6 goals conceded. Equal with Blacktown City heading into this round 8 of the New South Wales National Premier League. But they've conceded one early here. And you have to say Olympic deserve that lead. They've been the dominant force so far. And here is the goal scorer, Ahn. Goes to the near post. Away by Simmons. Helped by Payne. Now it falls. Gaetatsis gets it out to that left-hand side. Pavicevic goes inside. Stewart was a target. Simmons away. And now his brother Sean looks to combine with De Jong. The switch out to the right-hand side. Galimi looks for Bixo. Zach McKenzie looks like he's got this one covered. Player, as I said, who moved across from APIA in the midway point of last season. A replacement for George Timotheou, who started the season at Olympic last year. Moved over to Schalke during the midway point of the season. Zach McKenzie coming in, having an excellent contribution for Olympic in that second half of the year. Key player defensively, can also play in the midfield. Today he comes in alongside Stamatellis as Olympic look to threaten again. Sanchez in behind. Alex Sanchez! There it is, the second of the day, the fourth of the season for Alex Sanchez. And he is a star of the New South Wales Premier League. Make no mistake about that. Alex Sanchez has looked threatening and lively the whole afternoon. And he gets a reward on 37 minutes here. Olympic take a 2-0 lead in this Anzac Day clash. And it's been a terrific performance so far from Abbassad's men. Sanchez been playing off the shoulder of the central defenders. And as much as APIA have spoken about it in the build-up to this game, the threat of Sanchez in behind, the pace has really hurt APIA in the early going here. Olympic on the front foot, looking to apply the blow here. They come forward again. Now it's available to Pavicevic. Can't get that one on target. Chance to make it 3 there. Jack Stewart and Pavicevic has just swapped sides momentarily. And that's Olympic to a T there. When their counter-attack is flowing, the hallmark of what we saw from them throughout the season last year. And they're making a big statement here. They've had a couple of statements put on them by the likes of Wollongong early in the season, but they're making a statement early in the going here. As Zach McKenzie goes long. Only been able to keep the one clean sheet so far this season. Sydney Olympic, that was against Harcoa, that came on the road in round 4. A 1-0 win over there. Tight game, that one. Settled by a solitary goal from Jack Stewart. So certainly defensively they've been an issue. Today it's been a lot more solid. The one big chance did come to Chris Payne. Couldn't get his header on target. And Olympic have punished them down the other end. Mentioned that bevy of teams on 11 and 10 points. The likes of Blacktown City, Sydney United, both on 11. Manly United and Rockdale, after 2 wins on the spin, Rockdale, they're on 10 points. So those teams ahead of Olympic, who are in 8th. What a contest it is. What a season it is. What a season it's going to be. We're already at a third of the way through the season. It's merely fizzed by. So much to come. The battle for the premiership. Wollongong certainly with the jump on everyone on 17 points. But APIA, speaking to John Kalaja, this game, no doubt talking about the importance of that, wanting to keep tabs with Wollongong. And he knows that he's got the chasing pack behind him, the likes of Marconi, who have been flying over the past 3 weeks. So every game in the New South Wales top flight takes on significant proportions. And Olympic have come out on fire in this one. Saw a couple of weeks ago, Marconi against Sydney United. If you're off slightly, you can get punished. Got to turn up every week. And APIA come forward now through De Jong, looking inside. Looking to hit back before the break. Just under 5 minutes before the break. And they get a set piece here. Certainly John Kalaja hasn't been pleased the last couple of weeks with the starts that they've made. They're able to get draws in both those games. And they've got a job to do to come back in this one as well. As the ball comes in, Henderson comes out. Falls though to Payne. The block comes. Payne with another chance. Can he get this one on target? Tries to dink it across and just past the post. Not a bad effort at all from Chris Payne. Going to see a yellow card there. Adrian Uccino for a bit of dissent. Craig Fisher, and another one's gone into the book there as well. This time it's Corey Bixo. So Uccino and Bixo join McElhatton in the book. Looks like a bit of dissent from those two. Got a good opportunity, a couple now for Chris Payne. Couldn't quite get his finish on target. Player scored 7 for the season. Big name move in the off-season. Here he is again now. Payne, chance to shoot. What an effort! Henderson sprawling. Payne, not far at all. What a strike that was. He's been dry for a couple of weeks, Chris Payne. But you can't keep him out of the action. Scored 7 in 3 weeks. Cross rounds 3, 4 and 5. Henderson goes short. Didn't go out of the box though. It's going to be taken again. Looks like Stamatellis might take this one. Happy to go long. If the short option's not on, certainly Henderson. With that thigh injury. Fortunately for Abbassad, he's not had the luxury of using Ezekiel Consoni, the backup goalkeeper, who Got a knee to the head against Rockdale a couple of weeks ago, so he's been forced out through the concussion rule, layoff for 2 weeks. So that's come at the same time that Henderson's been almost hobbling on that one leg, so he's not been able to use Consoni. Henderson has still been doing a great job. And he might have a bit more work to do here. As De Jong comes forward, trying to stay on his feet. McKenzie recovers, but De Jong picks up the loose ball, and now it's a chance for APIA. Strong work though, Stamatellis getting in ahead, just ahead of Payne. Ball comes across to Sean Simmons. And Henderson showing his legs are perfectly fine, making an effort outside the box, and it looks like it's going to be a card there. Was that Radovan Pavicevic working back? A foul there on Sean Simmons. So Pavicevic, the first player booked for Olympic. So as we approach the final minute of normal time in the first half, in this round 8 clash from Belmore Sports Ground, it is the APIA Leichhardt Tigers looking to get one back here. They trail by 2-0. The free kick from Uccino, in it goes! Is that Josh Simmons climbing all the way back to Uccino? Now it goes near post. De Jong trying to turn. Olympic looking to keep them shut before the half-time break as Sean Simmons. Only as far as Makil-Hatton here. Too heavy that one. The opportunity's lost for APIA. So Olympic, courtesy of goals from Jinya Ahn and Alex Sanchez, have a 2-0 lead here in this Anzac Day. Round 8 clash in the New South Wales National Premier League. Tony Tanous with you. Remember, we've got another one for you lined up today. A big clash in the Women's National Premier League. Third place Sydney Olympic taking on Manly United. Olympic promoted last season after winning the competition, the NPL 2 competition. They've had a great start to the season. So this is your place for all the action across New South Wales football. Start of round 8 in the New South Wales National Premier Leagues. Olympic coming forward down the left-hand side. A chance to get the cross in. Moatamalo at the near post. Clears as far as Bixo. Do they get another opportunity here through Angel? Does it fall to Sanchez? Here it is! Lethal from Alex Sanchez! You give him a sniff, and there it is. He buries it. 3 for Olympic. And what a first half performance from Abassad's men. Will Angel driving forward down the left-hand side. And Alejandro Sanchez. Lethal from the marksman. He goes to 5 for the season. Thomas James has been making all the headlines. But Alex Sanchez reminding us here at Belmore today that he's a big headline in this New South Wales National Premier League. And just as he did on Grand Final Day, 2 against the APIA Leichhardt Tigers. And Olympic, just as they did on that Grand Final Day, they scored 3. They've got 3 here in the first half. And it is a statement performance from Abassad's men. Big part of their game plan was built around containing Sanchez. But a player of his quality, you can see when he turns up and when he produces it, and certainly hasn't he produced it here at Belmore Sports Ground. A terrific first half display from the Sydney Olympic side. Takes them into the break with a 3-0 lead over the APIA Leichhardt Tigers. Jinya Ahn opening the scoring from a set piece. And then Alejandro Sanchez went to work. A couple of lethal finishes from him. And at the break in this Anzac Day game from Belmore Sports Ground, it is Sydney Olympic leading the APIA Leichhardt Tigers by 3-0. We'll have a short break and be back with more action on this Anzac Day shortly. And it's a welcome back to Belmore Sports Ground for this Anzac Day Round 8 clash in the New South Wales National Premier League. If you've just joined us, what a first half you've missed. Sydney Olympic, and a dominant display from them, the champions, in this grand final replay. A real blockbuster this, and haven't they made a statement in the first half? 3-0 it is at the break. About to get proceedings underway in the second half is our official Craig Fisher. But the goal's coming in a cluster. Jinya Ahn in the 33rd minute, followed by Alex Sanchez in the 36th, and then Sanchez, first minute of stoppage time, made it 3-0, and what a job ahead for APIA Leichhardt Tigers. They've made a change at the break. It looks like Franco Parisi has come on in that midfield. So the experienced player, here he is on the ball. Can he provide the spark? We'll have a look, try and see who's come off, whether it's the youngster, Sam McElhatton. In fact, that's who has come off. He was on a yellow card. So it looks like they're going to revert to one holding midfielder here. Sam McElhatton, replaced by Franco Parisi. And here is Parisi combining with De Jong. Parisi. The foul there coming from behind though. A little bit eager there. Get a bit of a talking to from Craig Fisher. What a display. What a performance from Sydney Olympic in this first half it was. Really, you saw them on the front foot early, very positive. Sanchez looking very dangerous. And they eventually got their rewards in that 15-minute burst before half-time. 3 goals, opening it right up. Sanchez has now gone to 5 for the season. What a race it is for the Golden Boot in the New South Wales top flight. We've got Thomas James on 7 and a cluster of players in really hot form. Sorry, in fact, Thomas James on 10. Wollongong Wolves striker. What a start he's made to life in New South Wales top flight after moving over from Canberra. Chris Payne is playing in this one. He's on 7. Miriam Pavlovich has been in great form in the past 3 weeks. Couple of braces, got one last week as well. Pavlovich on 6 goals. Marko Jesic, his teammate at Marconi. Marconi really starting to fly. He's on 5, and now Sanchez joins him on 5. So what a race it is. Saw last week as well, Sydney United's new recruit, a player who I've got a lot of time for, Peter Simonovsky. Terrific striker, was terrific for Wollongong Wolves last season. A great acquisition by Sydney United. Got a hat-trick in his first start. Just shows you the quality of strikers across the New South Wales top flight. We saw last year the shootout between Sanchez and Jordan Murray, who's gone on to make a successful start to life in the A-League at Central Coast Mariners. APIA have replaced him through Chris Payne, and boy do they need Payne to get going in this second half. Had a couple of chances, not far at all in that first period. So certainly thereabouts. Player who, if he gets the service, certainly very lethal. Chris Payne, one of the great marksmen over his time in the New South Wales top flight. Good job ahead of John Collage's men here at Belmore Sports Ground. Managed to mount a comeback last year after trailing. On that occasion they went behind by a goal from Jinya Ahn. Managed to eke out a 1-1 draw there. They've got to find 3 goals here to even rescue a point. But they're on the front foot early, APIA. The clearance comes this time out of the midfield. Jinya Ahn has got through a power of work alongside Madonis. Mentioned Noha Jigligor. Massive loss for Olympic for the second year in a row, out for the season with an ACL. Same story for David Depuzo. Fortunate for him as well. Both players injuring themselves against Rockdale. Rounds 5 and 6 respectively. So Junior Ahn and Jason Madonis have been the two that have been playing in the midfield for Abbotsford today, the holding midfielder roles, with Harry Gaitatsis advanced of them. But it looks like Nikola Koleski is just getting ready, warming up on the sideline. In fact, we are about to see a change early in this second half. Only 5 minutes into the second half. Nikola Koleski, who's a holding central midfielder, looks like he'll be coming on. Keep an eye on who the player he'll replace. It is Radovan Pavicevic. So Pavicevic, who came back into the starting lineup today, but he has been injured. 50 minutes from him today. Didn't quite get on the end of a couple of finishes. But a good contribution from him. So Koleski, a holding midfielder, comes on, and he'll sit alongside Junior Ahn, and that will push Jason Madonis into the right attacking role. So Madonis goes into the right side of the attack for Sydney Olympic. And you see Koleski come on in that holding midfield role. Koleski was sent off in that game against Rockdale. So starting from the bench today, it's another set piece here for Junior Ahn. This time too close to Ivan Nichevsky, who can look long, try and hit Franco Parisi. Trying to get their counter-attack going. A player familiar with fans of Sydney Olympic. Made his debut, in fact, as a teenager for this club in the National Soccer League. Still going strong. There he is turning. Brilliant technique, and still got all the ability on the ball. Franco Parisi. Beautiful turn there to get the APIA attack flowing. Here he is again. Laying it off to Uccino. Now stepping up is Stamatellis. Featured in last week's Ultra Football Team of the Week alongside his teammate Tom Whiteside. As Jack Stewart gets a forward. Looking for Sanchez on a hat-trick. Can't quite. In fact, it was Gaitatsis there. Sorry about that one. Gaitatsis driving out of the midfield. Making a penetrating run. Reminiscent of his attacking colleague in Sanchez. Good spot of foot there from Harry Gaitatsis. Yet to score for Sydney Olympic. Got close last week. But you can see him building slowly but surely in that midfield. Building his fitness. An experienced player who was at Rockdale last year. Scored 5 for Rockdale. As I said, yet to score. But getting closer, you sense. Harry Gaitatsis. Do have a couple of attacking options on the bench, Sydney Olympic. In Darcy Birches, also the youngster Dimi Petratos, who's come off the bench the last 2 weeks. Player that came across during the off-season from Sydney United's under-20s, also spent some time at Rockdale under-20s as well. Dimi Petratos, the cousin of the Newcastle Jets and Socceroo player by the same name. And what a cameo performance he's made off the bench the last 2 weeks. Scored against Rockdale away, then rescued a point last week with a great strike that featured in our Ultra Football Goal of the Week nominations. Certainly one to watch. Also has Darcy Burgess and Michael Gaitatsis available. Does have Assad, but he's used his first substitution. And APIA, they've started strong this second half. But Olympic have been able to withstand the pressure the opening 10 minutes, and now they're looking to mount an attack of their own. Madonis battling away, and now it's Harry Gaitatsis. Here's De Jong looking for the combination with Uccino. Sean Simmons again gets it to De Jong. And now Parisi looks forward. Payne was the target there. Olympic can't keep it in transition, and it comes back to them via the APIA midfield. Parisi very influential early in this second half. Here he is again, looking for the thread ball to De Jong. Cut out though, Stamatellis, who can't keep it for Olympic. Both teams guilty of giving up possession. Bixo comes forward, takes the strike on the left foot. You can't give Bixo too much space. Didn't get that one, the power on that one. Comfortable in the end for Henderson. But he's shown already he can pack a punch from range, Corey Bixo. Again, Olympic can't keep it. They get a second chance though. Now Stamatellis can switch it out to Whiteside. In a new role today, Tom Whiteside, a familiar role to him, right back. Has played a lot of his time for Sydney Olympic in the centre of defence. But with no Nick Satalios today, Abbassad moving Will Angel over to the left-hand side just to keep shadow of Corey Bixo, the speed of Corey Bixo. Will Angel's done a great job so far. Certainly contributed in the attacking sense as well. And Tom Whiteside playing as a fullback today. So is this man, Paul Galimi, who was pulled up after that run. And that looks like a hammy. Unfortunate for Paul Galimi. Took off to get on the end of the 1-2 there. And he stayed down after that one. Players had a great start to the season. Couple of man of the match performances in the centre of defence. Last week he moved out to the right side of the defence in that draw against Blacktown City. And he's just off the pitch at the moment getting some treatment as Olympic come forward again. This one's going to go all the way through to Stewart. Up here a little light on. Bixo's dropped back to help. In the end it does come off an Olympic player. Galimi just getting a bit of a stretch at the moment. As Tynan Diaz gets ready to come on, it is going to be a change. So Galimi, the second substitution for John Kalaja. Tynan Diaz, who did start the season at right back. So it will be a like-for-like swap. Diaz, with his speed, does like to get forward. So it gives APIA a chance to build some attacks also down the right-hand side. Here's Junior Ahn. Looks to switch it out to Sanchez. Sanchez trying to get the ball inside, and what an opportunity that was. Jack Stewart it was in the middle. A great cross this time from Sanchez. We saw that on grand final day. Not only a finisher, can certainly provide an assist. And it was a great ball from that right-hand side. Jack Stewart not quite getting on the end of it. Gaitatsis with a bit of space here. Opportunities for Olympic in transition. Here's Whiteside again. Productive area so far early in the second half. Down the right-hand side for the hosts. De Jong can't quite connect with Parisi. Now Mackenzie. This time it falls to Will Angel. Player who's been around at this club for 2 championships now as part of that 2011 championship alongside Paul Henderson. And they were able to get their second last year. Won the premiership here on the final day. The APIA slipping up against Hakoah at home. But here are APIA trying to get back into the game here through Bixo. Goes down on the edge of the box. Play on's the call though from Fisher. The referee who adjudged that Olympic won the ball. Good decision that one. Can APIA get one back and mount a challenge in this match. Kuda coming forward, finding Payne, gets past the player, and then Henderson at the near post. What a terrific save that was. How about the sharpness there of Payne, just to shake off the challenge of McKenzie. Excellent work down the left side from Michael Kuda. And in a flash, APIA created an opportunity. Henderson, though, stood up, stayed strong, and made the save. Hasn't had much to do, but that's the experience. Player who gets better and better with age. Got a bit of defending to do from this set piece. APIA asking some questions now. Utrino again. In it comes. Parisi tried to turn, and then Bixo! Can't go get that one down. Had Henderson stretching. Good first time effort from Corey Bixo. And APIA. A good passage from them. Chances for Payne and Bixo, but not been able to hit the back of the net so far. 3-0 it remains to the host, Sydney Olympic. An hour past here. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Thanks for your company on this Anzac Day. Great to see football in New South Wales top flight featured on Anzac Day. Saw an A-League game also earlier today. As we mentioned earlier in the game, football really does have a story to tell around Anzac Day. And it's up to all of us to tell those stories, talk about the history of the great game here in this country. As De Jong comes forward, the block comes from Whiteside. Here he is battling away, Andre De Jong. Good work from him on the edge of the box. And now the combination through Payne. Let's see what he's trying to do there. Connect with his skipper, Sean Simmons. The back heel not quite working. Been that sort of day for APIA. They have had a couple of chances though. And here's another one for De Jong. Will Angel clears with the header. Good defensive work. Now Parisi dinks it inside. And what a piece of work. Over the keeper it was, but Stamatellis at the back post. Important intervention defensively from him. As APIA come forward again. A good passage now from John Kalage's men. Starting to ask some questions. Parisi certainly made a difference. Tynan Diaz now pushed up as well down the right-hand side. Olympic looking to absorb. Bixo and Payne trying to combine. And now they come forward again. The combination with Diaz. Player who moved across from the Bonnyrigg White Eagles in the off-season. Trying to dink it over the top for De Jong. And now Muatamalo in strong there on Sanchez. Hasn't had too many touches of the ball. What a first half it was, though, from the Spanish import. Player scored 22 last season and was really one of the headline acts, not only in the New South Wales National Premier League, across the National Premier League and Australian football. Alex Sanchez. Enjoyed his time so much. He's backed up again for another season at the Champions. And it hasn't been the best of starts, as mentioned. 4 games played at home, yet to taste victory. 2 draws and 2 losses. But they've made a big statement so far in this one. They hold a 3-0 lead. Can APIA mount a comeback? They get a set piece here, so chance to continue to build the pressure. Is this another set piece? Yes, it is. Fouled on the edge of the box this time with Sean Simmons. The foul coming from Jinya Ahn. Jinya Ahn scored from a free kick on 33 minutes to give Olympic the lead. He's conceded one here, which gives APIA the chance to set up a free kick. Payne looks like he wants to take this one. Sean Simmons also over the ball. This is similar territory to where Nikola Kaleski scored a set piece early in the season for the hosts. This time it's APIA though. Henderson's got his wall up. Payne steps up, hits the post, and it trickles in off the keeper. Chris Payne with his 8th of the season. And APIA, who've had an excellent start to the second half, get a lifeline here through their main marksman in Chris Payne. A terrific strike there from the set piece. A wonderful free kick. We've seen a couple of gems here at Belmore Sports Ground. Unfortunate there for Paul Henderson, crashing against the crossbar, then off his shoulder, trickling over the line. And it's an identical scoreline to what we saw in the grand final last year. Sydney Olympic 3, APIA Leichhardt Tigers 1. The pressure was mounting there from the Tigers. The tactical adjustment from John Kalaja, shifting the trigger, taking off a defensive midfielder, bringing on Parisi. Another forced change through Turner Diaz. But APIA have really been on the front foot. And they're back in this one with plenty of time remaining. Gaitatzis trying to restore the 3-goal lead. Olympic again on the turn. This time it was Stewart. Now the clearance. Looking to hit Payne, who closes in on Thomas James again. Here they are pressing forward. Suddenly it's the visitors asking all the questions. Sean Simmons growing an influence as well. What a contest here. Tony Tanous with you. Across the Football New South Wales channels. Excellent battle there. Josh Simmons coming across and denying Sanchez the opportunity in transition. Excellent turn. Close to the sideline there from the Spaniard. Rolling his defender. But Simmons alert to the danger. Cutting across to snuff out that danger. Olympic made an excellent start in this one if you've just joined us. They were the team on the front foot in the first half and got their rewards in a 15-minute cluster just before the half-time break. The goals coming from Jinya Ahn and Alex Sanchez scoring twice. But APIA have made some adjustments at the start of the second half and they've managed to peg one back through Chris Payne. But it's Olympic now with the opportunity from the set piece. And one of the substitutes in Nikola Kaleski has come over to take this one. He's got McKenzie at the back post. That's where it goes. But Nichevsky too strong there. Good gather from him and he tries to expose Payne one-on-one against Stamatellis. The Olympic central defender cutting it out well. The first of our usual allotment of 6 games across the New South Wales National Premier League Round 8 action. We've got more action for you coming on Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Sydney FC hosting Sydney United at Lambert Park. Dave McDonald will have the call for you there. Sydney United hitting back last week after a big loss to Marconi. As APIA come forward again. This time Olympic able to hold them up. Then on Saturday night, 2 games for you over at Seymour Shore. Will Gotsis will bring you the coverage. Sutherland Sharks taking on the competition leader, Wollongong Wolves. Sharks haven't won since opening round here against Olympic, so certainly need some points. As the ball comes in from APIA, down that left-hand side. This time Henderson gathers. De Jong starting to pick up some pockets on that left-hand side. He does like to get into the wide areas. We saw that at Hakawa. Also on Saturday night, over at Popondetta, Mentioned Marconi's great run of 3 straight wins. They're visiting the Mount Druitt Town Rangers, who had a good start to life in the New South Wales top tier. But they've had 3 losses in their past 4 matches and really need to get back on the winners table. Mount Druitt Town Rangers, that game, 7 o'clock from Popondetta. Nick Kutniak will bring you all the action from Popondetta. Then Sunday, 2 more games to round out round 8. Both games kicking off at 3 p.m. Manly United, they're at home at Cromer Park against Harcoa. Join Nate Patrick for that one. And then also 3 p.m. at Lilies out in Western Sydney. Blacktown City, who drew against APIA last week. They're hosting the Rockdale City Suns. As Madonis comes forward for Olympic. Off Josh Simmons, straight into the hands comfortably of Nachevsky. So Rockdale on the back of 2 wins on the spin. Change of coach there. Nick Pereka taking over from Paul Reed. As Olympic come forward through Gatatsis, you could see the idea there, a good idea, trying that reverse ball into the run of Jason Madonis. So that second game on Sunday, join Tony Salerno for all the action from Lilies. A reminder, stay with us after this one, a big one in the New South Wales Women's National Premier League. Nicola Posda will have all the action for you straight after this one as APIA come forward. Olympic in a double-header, the inaugural Anzac Day double-header for them. They'll be taking on Manly United. Olympic in 3rd spot, Manly United in 9th spot. Olympic, what a great start to life for them in the New South Wales Women's Top Flight. Susan Fonsong Cam, 7 goals for her. Teresa Polias, 5 for her. As APIA come forward, trying to get a second here. In it goes again from Payne, who got the opener. This time he lays it off to Bixo, who tried to dink it into the top corner. You could see what he was trying to do on the left foot there. Pass it into that top corner. We're going to see another change here for Sydney Olympic. Another holding midfielder in Darcy Burgess. So Darcy Burgess looks like he'll be coming on for Jack Stewart. So the second substitution for Abbassad. Seen Nicola Koleski come on a short time ago. And this time Darcy Burgess. Let's see if he goes into the midfield. Sanchez comes forward here and trying to take on Diaz. Now Alex Sanchez trying to get it on the right foot. Sanchez! Just wide. Skip past the defender. Got the shot. And it was just off target. APIA breathe a sigh of relief. Olympic trying to restore their 3-goal lead. And doesn't he look back to his best, Alex Sanchez, this afternoon. The ball comes forward, looking for Payne. Faced by Stamatellis, forcing him back to De Jong on the edge of the box. Now he's looking to combine with Parisi. Parisi now on the shot! Not a bad effort. Just couldn't get that on target. Fashioned the space beautifully. The veteran, APIA attacking central midfielder. And just couldn't quite get that shot on target. But again, promising signs for APIA. Not out of this by any stretch. 16 and a half minutes or so remain here at Belmore Sports Ground. Looks like Jason Madonis has slotted back into the midfield after that change. Jack Stewart coming off. So Madonis joining Junior Arndt again in that midfield. Nicola Koleski's gone to right wing back. It looks like they've gone to a back 3 here. So Abbassad's adjusted the system. He's pushed Tom Whiteside infield alongside Stamatellis and Zach McKenzie in a back three with Koleski on the right as a wing back and Will Angel on the left as wing back. So it looks like a back three with two wing backs. Just trying to hold APIA up as De Jong comes forward again. Starting to ask more and more questions. Olympic with a chance to transition now. Will Angel it is, taking on Uchino, who's on a yellow card. Has to be careful. Does well though, gets the help of Tonan Diaz. And Bixo goes inside. Sean Simmons linking it up. And now the outside of the ball, outside of the football. Payne stayed onside there. Parisi it was with an audacious ball. Payne. Henderson reading that one. APIA continuing to ask questions. What a contest here at Belmore Sports Ground. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Hope you have enjoyed the coverage on this Anzac Day. APIA, play on is the call. Advantage through Bixo into the feet of Payne. A really good second half this from the visitors. As Bixo comes forward, tries to take on Angel. Just holds him up, gets the body in between and allows Zach McKenzie to come across. Pendulum certainly swung for Olympic to the defensive side. It's gone to a back three. They've brought on Darcy Burgess and Koleski. Happy to hold what they have. Try and hit on the counter-attack. Given how many goals they have conceded. As they try and counter here through Sanchez. What a delightful ball. Sanchez now 1v1 against Moatamalo. Goes inside. Uchino able to keep his composure. What a great switch from Olympic. Sanchez couldn't quite take that in his stride as Madonis comes back and fouls there. A professional foul, giving away a yellow card. So it is a free kick to APIA, who are mounting a real comeback in this second half. Madonis goes into the book. Joins his teammate Pavicevic from the first half. As APIA build it up down the left-hand side through Michael Kuda. Here he is again. Now it's into the feet of De Jong. Stepping out there with Stamatellis. Important intervention. Terrific piece of defending. I mentioned Stamatellis. A couple of goals for him for the season in the air. Showing the job he was brought here for, the defensive work. As APIA continue to ask questions through Parisi. This time it's Simmons looking to connect at the back post with his brother Josh. But it's gone over the byline. And it's a goal kick to Olympic. Again, Henderson's going to leave this one for McKenzie. Just under 14 minutes remaining of normal time. Is that a yellow card to Zach McKenzie? It is, so he joins a couple of teammates in the book. Bit of time wasting there from Olympic. As the ball goes forward, looking for Payne. Coming out though, Henderson. Slightly too heavy. There's still plenty of time for APIA. Just over 11 minutes remain. If they can get one back quick, and they've certainly had the lion's share of possession in this second period. Created all the chances, or most of the chances, but Olympic still have threatened in counter-attack. And that man, Sanchez, has looked lively. Gaitatsis as well in transition. Here he is trying to apply the defensive pressure. Parisi working back against Stamatellis. Strong performance again. Whiteside's now splitting the two stoppers in Mackenzie and Stamatellis. That back three for Abbassad. What we have, we hold, is the motto. And certainly a team that's desperate for the 3 points. Mentioned they're coming into this one in 8th spot on 8 points. A win here will take them up to 11 points. And they'll join a logjam of teams, the likes of Sydney United, also Blacktown City, who both have games to come this week. They're on 11. Marconi on 12. So for Marconi, if APIA can't pick up any points here, it is an opportunity for them to go into second spot on the ladder. Mention they're away against Mount Druitt Town Rangers on Saturday night. So join us across all our YouTube and Facebook channels. Be sure to interact. Let us know your thoughts. Been a great contest, this one. Inaugural Anzac Day doubleheader here at Belmore Sports Ground. As the ball comes forward for Payne. Will he go solo or try to tee up Sean Simmons? Tried the ladder. Couldn't thread the needle there. White side away for Olympic, and now they can transition through Darcy Burgess. McDonough tries to slip it into Sanchez. The flag's gone up though. The flag's gone up. John Park on the other side, right on the spot. See Olympic there, looking dangerous in counter-attack. And they're going to bring on their last change here. It is the youngster, Dimi Petrados, who scored goals in their last 2 games. Player who I saw in the pre-season. Looked very good there. Still hasn't made his start for Sydney Olympic. But Abbassad easing him into the season, and you can see the impact that he's having. Scored goals in the past 2 games. Rescued a point last week. And he comes on for Harry Gaitatsis. With about 8.5 minutes remaining here. A terrific shift from Harry Gaitatsis tonight. Still no goal for him. As the ball comes in, Stamatellis again at the near post. Competing with Payne. This time the flag's gone up. The ball's gone over the byline. What a contest that's been in the second half. Chris Payne versus Mitch Stamatellis. In the main, Olympic have been able to limit Payne with chances inside the box from open play. Of course, his goal coming from a set piece. His 8th of the season. As Sean Simmons turns inside. Now it's Uchino finding De Jong. This time it was Mackenzie stepping out, and driving forward is Petrados. Still going, Dimi Petrados. Available is Darcy Burgess. The block comes. APIA clear. Only as far as Junior Arn, who likes the opportunity here to have a strike. But now APIA can transition. Bixo into the feet of Payne. Trying to drive forward. But there's that matchup. The adjustment from Abbassad ahead of this game. Will Angel, the speed of to keep up with Bixo. It's been an important tactical contribution from the Olympic manager. Bixo's had to do his work by ducking inside in the main. Hasn't had a lot of change on the outside. From a player who's been in great form in Corey Bixo. So Olympic showing that they want to be in the mix for silverware again this season with this performance. Still got 6.5 minutes to keep APIA out. APIA can really make a game of it. If they can get one more back here. Been a great second half performance from them. But as it has been in the last couple of weeks, they've been punished so far for a slow start. Can they rescue this one as they did last week? Moatamalo venturing forward. Players very comfortable on the ball. Here he is again, dinking it inside. Now the layoff to De Jong, growing in influence. Andre De Jong driving. Is that a penalty? Play on's the call. Zach McKenzie it was. Timed his tackle perfectly there. De Jong's looking a threat. Now Sean Simmons. APIA asking more and more questions. Anywhere will do now for Olympic. The 1-2 combination down the left-hand side. Nikola Koleski, though, playing it off Kuda. And it's a relieving goal kick for Olympic. Henderson happy to leave this one for Tom Whiteside, who's in the end he's gone short though. Olympic can't keep that one in. Bixo trying to combine with Diaz. Working back though, Madonis, who's just slotted back into that midfield after that adjustment from Abbassad. When they've gone to a back three, Madonis has had a bit of a spell in the attack. Shows you the adaptability of this side. Playing alongside Jinya Ahn and Darcy Burgess in the midfield. With Dimi Petrados playing off Sanchez, looking for their counter-attacking moments. Sanchez, what a shift from him. Player who's right in the reckoning for Player of the Year honours last season. Here he is, trying to get on the end of a long ball. Can't quite keep that one in. Sniffing around for his hat-trick. Olympic have 3.5 minutes remaining to keep APIA out, plus whatever stoppage time the officials add on. Certainly keep an eye on that one. As Sean Simmons builds it up here with a combination with Kuda. Now it falls to Uchino, who finds Parisi. Looking to find De Jong on the volley. And again it's Stamatellis. How many blocks has he made in the second half? This time it's Payne. Play on's the call. APIA looking to find Bixo! And what a block that was. Heroic defending from Tom Whiteside. High fives all round from the Olympic defence. APIA opening them up with a subtle reverse ball into the feet of Bixo. And now it's Parisi. Great grab that one. Henderson. Talk about the injury. Testing him there. Showing that he can still leap. What a keeper he's been across the New South Wales top flight. For Olympic as they go forward again. Flag's gone up against Sanchez. Craig Fisher happy to play advantage here to APIA, who need to move the ball quick. Just over 2 minutes remain of normal time. Tony Tanous with you. Hope you've enjoyed this round 8 opener. Anzac Day action as De Jong comes forward. And now down the left-hand side, the cross comes in. This time they needed it. Pinpoint. Kuda couldn't quite find the mark. So the opportunity goes for Olympic. For APIA, in fact. Just looking over that far side, we can see the women's team for Sydney Olympic just venturing across from their warm-up. So they'll be in action after this one. Join Nicola Posdar across the Football New South Wales channels for live action, round 8 in the New South Wales National Premier League Women's Competition. Sydney Olympic impressing everyone after their promotion. And Manly, the champions from 2017, as the champions of the men's top flight. Olympic try and keep APIA out here. Cross comes in from Bixo now on the edge of the box. Can't get his shot on target. Ball's dropped on his left peg a few times today. He's not quite been able to hit the target. Players has already scored a couple of spectacular goals this season. been all hands on deck defensively for Sydney Olympic. I talk about that record last year, only 19 goals conceded. They've already conceded 13 this year, but the second half performance, they've put their bodies on the line, they've defended with a lot of commitment, and that's the hallmark of their performances last year. The flow came in the first half, 3 goals, 1 from Jinya Ahn, 2 from Alex Sanchez, but APIA trying to make a late run here. Diaz can't quite get that one under control. Both teams will be in action midweek. FFA Cup round 4 action for APIA Leichhardt. They'll be away to Berkeley Vale over at Plume Park on Wednesday. As for Sydney Olympic, they'll be hosting just over the hill on the other side at Peter Moore. They'll be hosting NPL 3, Stanmore Hawks, the team coached by Ben Rowlandson and Alex Arroyo, one of our big fans in the New South Wales National Premier League. That game, round 5 action against the team coming second in the New South Wales NPL 3, Stanmore Hawks. So FFA Cup action midweek for both these sides. Get out to those. So many games featured across the FFA Cup. But here's APIA trying to build up down the left-hand side. In stoppage time here. Olympic have done the job so far. Rolled the sleeves up in the second half. APIA have certainly made a game of it, haven't they? And a terrific second half performance from John Kalaja's side. But been very difficult to penetrate and break down this Olympic rearguard today. A real statement performance from them. Stamatellis has been a real leader in that heart of that defence. Can APIA create something late here and make a game of it as Parisi comes forward on the combination with De Jong? First start for De Jong. Certainly a solid contribution from him. Been very creative, particularly in this second half as APIA have come forward. Just not quite been able to get those shots on target and really test Henderson. Moatamalo comes forward here. Now Darcy Burgess for Olympic. Can they eat a bit of time here? They give it up though in midfield. Stepping up though, Tom Whiteside. Mentioned that him and Stamatellis were in that team of the week last year. Both last week, sorry. Both solid contributors again today. Sanchez has been sniffing around for a counter-attack opportunity in the second period. Not quite able to execute in transition, but what a first half performance it was from the hosts, Abassad's man, Sydney Olympic. They came here desperate for a win. Their 5th home game. As Payne comes out, Henderson commits a challenge. Play on's the call. Payne was appealing there. Did he get to the ball first? In the end, it's handshakes. APIA back in action next weekend at Lambert Park. They'll be playing an away game against Sydney FC on Saturday night. Sydney Olympic also in action away to Marconi. What a game that'll be. They'll move up at the moment, 1 point behind Marconi. Marconi, of course, with a game in hand against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. But next Saturday, what a blockbuster. Marconi against Olympic as Olympic come forward here. Through Madonis, happy to win the corner and need a few more seconds into this one. They win a late set piece here and the chi goes up. The Olympic chi goes up. A big statement this one, a big victory for the hosts. Can they build a bit of momentum on the back of this performance? Stimi Petrados just eats a few more seconds, playing it off Tynan Diaz. APIA back in action, as I said, next week against Sydney FC, looking to get back on the winners' circle. But today the winner is the host, Sydney Olympic. A performance of real statement from the champions today. A grand final replay, and they turned up with a performance befitting of the champions. First half goals from Jinya Ahn, followed by a brace from Alex Sanchez. Gave them a 3-0 lead at the half-time break. APIA came back in the second half and made a game of it. Chris Payne grabbing one back from a set piece. But it wasn't enough in the end. A terrific afternoon here at Belmore Sports Ground for this inaugural Anzac Day doubleheader. And in the men's NPL top flight, it's finished 3-1 to Sydney Olympic over the APIA Leichhardt Tigers. Be sure to hang around for more action in the New South Wales women's top flight. We'll be coming back to you shortly with Sydney Olympic taking on Manly United.